G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the top side of the map, or the east side of the map, we've got Zerton. He is playing as the Rus in the color blue and going to be opening up with a scout opening today, which is quite standard as, when you're playing the Rus to be opening up with that second scout. Going to help you out a lot in just securing that bounty in the early game, and looks like he already picks up a triple-double, so he's having a pretty nice opening over this side of the map. But on the other side of the map, we've got Don Artie, who is playing in the color red and playing the Abbasid dynasty. So this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup, I suspect. Don Artie, for anybody unfamiliar with him, somewhat of an infamous player, I guess I would say that much, coming from Age of Empires 3. So we're going to be casting the entire series between these two guys, Don Artie and Zerton. Now this game is part of N4C, so if you're unfamiliar with N4C, N4C is the $100,000 tournament that is going to be hosted in Berlin. At the moment this is the qualifiers. So I think at the moment, this within the group stage, this is basically the semi-finals. The player who wins this game will go through up against the Mister to see who can get through to the finals of the group. That is my understanding at the moment. But yeah, to speak a little bit about Zerton as well. So we saw Zerton quite prominent in the early stages of Age of Empires 4. He sort of fell off a little bit. He's pretty high ranked at the moment, ranked number 16. But it's been a while since he's had a particularly strong performance, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he does today. Obviously, going up against Don, it's going to be a difficult matchup. But speaking of matchup, I guess we can talk a little bit about how these two civilizations will match up. Now, I sort of guess a couple patches ago, maybe I'm thinking about 2 patches ago, Abbasid Dynasty used to be a soft counter to the Rus. So you guys remember those great days where the Rus had the very fast-firing horse archer. Well, long gone are those days, but still the Abbasid dynasty is considered quite a good pick into the Rus. Just I suspect because of their propensity to get a second town center a lot sooner. So normally you'll be opening up with a 2-scout opening with the Rus against the Rus. Don hasn't opted to do that, and he's gone for a 1-scout opening today. But if you do, then it's going to be much easier for you to mitigate the loss of the villager because of the scout. It's just simply because you've got a second town center. But Don now going to be clicking up to the next age, going up with the economic wing. No surprise there. Now we could potentially see Don's patented build order. This is something that we have been seeing quite a fair bit out of him. So essentially the way that it works is Don is going to look to have just enough gold to get both his mill up. Or not. Well, that's wood. He'll need wood for the mill, but he'll be looking to secure enough gold for fresh foodstuffs and the wheelbarrow. And then at the exact same time as he's aging up, he'll be dropping down a stable. So we'll see if he does that. You can see he's moving out to berries now. Going to be dropping down that mill right next to it. Oh, there we go. He's changed the mill up. Just giving himself enough space to, I think, just giving himself enough space to drop a farm in there. But I could be wrong. Actually, you know what? I think I'm wrong. So maybe just getting a little bit of a better coverage here on the berries. But now you can see he's going to have enough resources to research that wheelbarrow any second. And when he does, he's going to be clicking on it. There we go. Wheelbarrow coming in now. So this is the new Abbasid build order. This is sort of, I guess, the standard that we're seeing players go for. So we've been seeing this quite a bit in the tournament. On the other side of the map, no surprise as to what is going on. Zerton just doing Rus things over here. Going to be dropping down his golden gate. Only got 4 villagers tapping away, but has got a 3rd scout out now. So you can see those beginning to move around the map. He's got a couple of sheep finding or got a couple sheep following behind. That's probably the word I'm looking for. Jeez, I'm having a bit of a tongue twister night tonight. But you can see he's got plenty of gold in the bank at the moment. 256, sitting on 290 bounty. So we could see a professional scouts coming out for Zerton. We'll have to keep an eye on him. But on the other side of the map, Don Artie about to age up now, and you'll watch as he's got 127 gold in the bank, just enough for fresh foodstuffs. And you can see he's still gathering up that, got enough food. He's going to be able to research fresh foodstuffs and get that villager down. Very, very tight build order here. This is one of the best build orders you can do with the Abbasid. Don did a great job in spotting this one out. Now going to be looking at dropping down the mining camp, going for the second town center. And we also see a stable being dropped down now. Keep in mind, going up against the Rus, stables are very safe opening against them. It's highly likely that you're going to be utilizing the units that come out of it. But you can see Don doing a great job of pulling in the wolves. This is going to be, I think, the 5th wolf he's managed to pull in this game, and Zerton spots it. Zerton, in addition to that, does spot the stable, spots the mining camp on the stone, so he's going to know exactly what Don is up to. Now, on the same side of things, or on the by the same token, Don is notorious for never scouting. It is his middle name, Never Scout. So it is no surprise for me to be able to look at the minimap and be like, yeah, this whole area, it's not scouted. It is not scouted at all. Don doesn't need to scout it because he knows what his enemy is doing. He knows, all right, he's playing Rus. I'm just going to be playing passive. I'm going to do my 2 town center stuff, and I might get a few horsemen out to potentially deny any sort of night opening, and that's all part of my build order. So I'm not fussed. So we'll see how he goes, and when he looks to be adding in that 2nd town center. He's going to be scouting out his opponent now. We can see that inside the base of Zerton, there doesn't appear to be any military production buildings at this point in time, so yet to add anything in. But I'm curious to see what else Don is going to be able to do, because, we experienced the Rus for a very long time. We're very familiar with what they're capable of, and speaking with what they're capable of, it looks like Professional Scouts is going to be coming through, going to be picked up. It's probably one of the first times I've actually seen this coming out in the tournament. So I tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing how well he does. But look at this already, Don Artie going to be coming out towards the hunt, looking to do a bit of damage on the scouts. Obviously realizes that these ones are well and truly away. Not going to be able to stab those ones out, but he is going to be able to do those ones. Back at home, going to be dropping down that 2nd town center, nice and close to his starting town center. House going to be going down as well. It's important when you're playing the Abbasid, make sure you keep that 2nd town center close to your 1st town center, just because if your enemy does spot it, they may look to punish it. Now, Zerton's going to know that this town center is already coming up. He obviously scouted the stone, and he knows that he's playing up against the Abbasid, so very, very common that players would do that. Don keeping a scout out over on the second deer hunt, and now going to be looking to run over there. So pretty smart moves there by Zerton. I'm not sure if Zerton realized that he was being tracked by the horseman. In fact, I do probably think he was. But now we see the spear coming out in response, dropping down a carcass, just being a little bit cute, I would say. No real need to do it. It wasn't any potential threat. And the single spear going to be doing a good job of just denying this. So both players at this stage in the game investing into their economies. Professional Scouts for the Rus player. 2nd town center for Don. And now we enter into this sort of transitional phase. We're up at about 7 minutes. Don beginning to head up towards the north. I suspect probably going to be going towards these berries. Indeed, that is going to be the case. So one of the things to note, Don sending 5 villagers, getting these guys up there early. So I would suspect he's probably going to be looking to get an outpost down there sooner as well. And that is, so the magic number, the reason why he's got 5 up there is because that outpost is going to be able to fit 5 villagers inside. By the same token, if you're playing the Rus, you could very much afford to send 8 villagers out, because your wooden fortress, it can fit 8 villagers inside. So it's about playing to those numbers. But speaking of numbers, Zerton now going to be looking to drop down his landmark just prior to 8 minutes, tapping away with 9 villagers. Abbey of the Trinity, going to be the one that goes down on the other side of the map. Don Artie, nowhere near aging up at this point in time, just looking to play it in feudal. So I guess I could call that a little bit safe. And now down towards the south, he's actually got 6 villagers down here on the mill that he's begun to gather these berries from. So already we see him diversifying his berry income, and I think this is a really smart move, especially playing as the Abbasid dynasty after the recent buffs that have come through in the most recent patch. These berries are a little bit more advantageous than what they used to be, and so I wouldn't be surprised if we do continue to see him expand around the map, looking to pick up potentially deer as well, but obviously appreciating the fact that his enemy does have professional scouts, so they may not last forever. Over towards the north side of the base, though, or rather over towards the west side of the base for Zerton. A little bit of a mass beginning to build now for Don. You can see Don coming around the side. He's got to be careful with these spears. Got the Camel Archer in here. Now, keep in mind the Camel Archer does get pretty badly beaten up by these spears, but now the spears going to be outnumbered significantly. Camel Archers both doing a great job. I think those Camel Archers end up 3-shotting a spear. I'd have to double check my numbers out here, but yeah, it's a lot of damage that comes out of these bad boys. But now Zerton reaching the 3rd age, going to be looking to transition into his warrior monks. So we'll do a quick relic assessment, and we'll see how it's going. You can see he's actually being using the sort of the new and improved. I wasn't aware of this until recently. The new and improved Waypoint System. So you can just send your Abbey of the Trinity out here, shift-click it back, and they will automatically go out and pick up the relic. But you can see Don sort of posturing towards the front of the base. He doesn't have a lot of information out here. Obviously got the scout up towards the north, but he's just sort of looking around. So relic check. One safe relic, second relic, third relic in the middle of the map, fourth relic going a bit closer to Don's base, then fifth relic very close to Don's base. So you'd say that they've both got one very safe relic. Relics do sort of seem to be a little bit more favored. Actually, you know what? I'm probably going to say it's even. It's even. It might not look like it is, it might not look like it's fair, but I assure you it's actually very, very even. So if we were going to draw the distances here, I mean, you can see this one here. Oh, God, that's a fat boy right there. So these guys are really close. Okay, but then when you look at the distance between, these two relics, similar to there. So like I feel like it's a pretty even spawn, even though it does kind of look like it's in favor of Zertan just a little bit. But we'll see how Don's doing now. Looking like he's going to be getting out a fair few villages here. Two town centers obviously pumping out villages non-stop. He's up to 45 villages already. His opponent on the other side of the map sitting on 36, so already a nice little villager lead. Bit of a raid. Well, I say raid, but it's, it's a raid with the quote-unquote fingers, like a raid. He's doing a little raid up to the north. He's got the scouts out. It's nothing to be concerned about. But Camel Archers on the front, these guys are something to be concerned about. We've seen these used more and more frequently. And I've got to be honest, I really like the Camel Archers because it seems like a very safe pick. Now, a lot of people in this situation might be scared of a man-at-arm timing push, but we've seen how the Holy Roman Empire have begun, or Holy Roman Empire, gosh, how the Abbasid dynasty, rather, have been able to counter that. And speaking of countering that, it looks like he manages to pick up the first relic, or at least the first warrior monk carrying a relic. So that is going to bring all 5 relics relatively close to Zertan's side. At the same time, a couple of scouts, they're making a dangerous decision right there, heading underneath that town center. But he's doing a pretty decent job of just sort of scouting out where Don is. He's all over the map at this point in time, but I've got to say, I really like the transition into Camel Archers because one of the weaknesses that the Abbasid dynasty have is this fast castle into men-at-arms. The timing push that was sort of popularized by Doubt, where people go for Mangonel plus Men-at-Arms plus Ram. It's exactly what we're seeing coming out now. It looks like a few more spears are actually going to be coming out, and these spears, keep in mind, they are 3-shot by the hardened, or by the Camel Archers. And we can see that archer mass beginning to build, or that Camel Archer mass beginning to build. But at the same time, a little bit of thievery happening down on the other side of the map. Don Artie not going to be happy with that, and takes out those scouts, carrying away those deer. It looks like all of the scouts, with the exception of one, managed to get away. So just a single scout going to be getting away here for Zertan. So unfortunate haul for him. Towards the center of the map, another relic going to be picked up. So that's going to be the second relic now coming out for Zertan. Don's mass really looking quite strong now, and you can see almost up onto, or I take it back, he is well and truly up to the 3rd age at this point, still with a very significant mass. You can see the Camel Archer is going to be coming out in force as well. Mangonel shot going to be coming down, landing on top of those Camel Archers. It looked like one of them did take quite a significant amount of damage. Now they're going to be falling back. You can see he's got the nice little splits, doing a great job there, Don Artie. And into the staggered formation. It looks like we've got a few more men-at-arms now going to be coming out. No upgrades for these bad boys at this stage, but Don continuing to posture on the north side. It looks like we see another potential chance for a Wallalol going to be happening, but Relic going to be at least getting denied. Now, I guess, you know what? It's not really denying the Relic. He's more just killing the warrior monk. I think that's really it. But at the same time, on the front, that warrior monk does go down. Relic is going to get captured. Oh, we could have picked up a 3rd warrior monk there, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it. But Don now into the 3rd age, happy with himself. We'll check in with his production. We'll see what he is getting in the way of upgrades. Looks like it's going to be a veteran horseman and a veteran Camel Archer. So really looking to stick with the same composition that he's got at the moment, that complete cavalry composition for the Abbasid dynasty. And at the same time now, we begin to see why that early wheelbarrow really starts to pay off. So remember back to the most recent patch that happened, where we actually saw a big buff coming out to the berry. So basically they went from carrying 10 berries to carrying 13. Well, wheelbarrow goes and it extends that even further. And speaking of even further, it looks like a very interesting Wallalol there. I think that might be a bit of a misclick. Second monastery going to be coming down to pick up this 4th relic. At the same time, villagers got to be careful. Don Artie's not paying attention. All right, he does manage to spot those ones, but you can see these guys are going to be able to carry a little bit more food on them. And you might be wondering, okay, Drongo, what the hell does wheelbarrow have to do with it? Well, you got to consider the fact these guys are running extra far now because of these berry bushes. You see, they get further and further away as you get you know, further into the patch, further away from the mill. So the wheelbarrow is going to help them out because they can actually run a little bit more efficiently. So smart moves there from Don, and really great utilization of that technology. At the same time, down towards the south, it looks like Don going to be very happy here. No survival techniques has been researched, even though it being quite a cheap technology. But now it looks like we've got a significant horseman mass beginning to build up. These guys are all moving in formation as well. Couple of crossbows in the mix as well. 25 horsemen in total. No upgrades yet when it comes to the blacksmith. We'll double check and see what he's got on the way. Looks like it's going to be steeled arrow for the +1 range. But speaking of range, back in Zertan's base, Zertan just sitting up. It kind of looks like he wants to go to Imperial, but I think he's just spent all of his resources. He's spending out his food. Double mangonel. I feel like in Zertan's position, I definitely feel like I'm not at an advantage. I think this is a smart way that Don's played this. You know, Zertan's managed to capture all 5 relics, sure. But at the same time, I still kind of feel like I'm forced into a corner. And I think Zertan definitely feels that way. Judging from this, he's going to have difficulties with regard to expanding out to food sources. He is dropping down a second town center, so going to be looking to contest Don Artie's population, or villager population. At the moment, Zertan sits on 52 villagers, whereas Don Artie sitting on 77. So about a 25 village difference at the moment. But keep in mind, Zertan's going to have those 5 relics for the rest of the game, ticking away, not taking any population space, and not using any gold mines. So always a really important consideration to make. At the moment, I probably feel like I'd prefer to be Zertan. The sooner we get to the late game, the better for Zertan. For the Abbasid dynasty, not so much of a late game powerhouse. Obviously, their trash units are incredibly good, just because of the upgrades that they get from their House of Wisdom. So typically, Boot Camp is a great one, which increases the health of all their infantry by 15%. So that's going to be the primary one that you're looking at. But we'll take a look over towards the base of Don, see exactly how he's doing. Woodline getting pretty chopped in here. He's managed to go for the 2 lumber camps. I failed to see there's the second. So yet to take out that second lumber source at this stage. But back towards Zertan's base though. Still doing a similar thing. He's got his 3 lumber camps out. He's managed to dig quite a way into that. But focusing on just collecting food, collecting wood, and now got that second town center up. So we can see he's at 55 villagers here compared to Don, who's on 84. So 30 villager difference when that second town center comes in. So you can assume that they're going to be pretty parallel when it comes to the resources that they are collecting. It was very smart by Zertan to do this. So you need to think about it when it comes from the Rus perspective, okay? You can play 1 town center until you get to Fast Castle. Then you're going to be collecting the relics, which is going to give you a nice little spike. But after that, you're not going to spike anywhere. You're not going to be able to keep up with your enemy because they've got the second town center. So this is where this second town center is a very smart move. Looks like we've got the upgrades coming through as well now for Zertan. Looking to pick up double broadaxe as well as the forestry upgrade. He knows that it's time for him to begin transitioning into farms. So he had a bit of a difficult time securing up all the hunt on the rest of the map. And as a result, he's going to need to go over to farms a bit sooner. Normally, you'd expect farms to be coming in about 20, 21 minutes if you're going for professional scouts. But yeah, a bit of a delay here. But now plenty of spears here. Looking to try and clean up a few of these horsemen. He's got to be careful. You can see the way that Don is forcing these units to come back just through the use of his springalds here, so very smart use of that. We'll head into the cinematic mode as we begin to watch these players fighting it out. Now, Don got a lot of crossbows back here. Going to begin working on a couple of battering rams by the look of it. And Zertan microing very well. I would compliment him at this stage at how the micro has gone. So one of the things to note is people often will be very, very, what's the word? Very, very liberal with the way that they control their mangonels and sort of waste them, especially when enemy springalds are around. But Zertan doing a great job of just keeping them back. Don Artie looking to posture up towards the front. It looks like he's just been aggroed up. You can see not all of the forces have moved. He would have undoubtedly come back to his army and said, ugh, stop doing that. And now we actually see some camel riders getting thrown in the mix here as well. You can see they got +1 armor on those bad boys. But now, nice little fight here for Zertan. Getting some good shots off with those mangonels. You can see just how much damage has been taken. One of those mangonels going to go down. You can see the springalds trying their best, managing to fire off on the springalds of his opponent. Zertan doing a decent job here. A lot of forces coming out, and Don Artie getting completely melted at this point in time. Springalds looking to try and even it out, but a single mangonel does remain. And unfortunately, Zertan going to be able to hold on right there. Don Artie going to be in a bit of a difficult spot as he walks away with his tail between his legs, and Zertan holds on. We'll check back over with Zertan shortly. Don trying his best to evacuate, but obviously the crossbows are not going to be not going to be doing particularly well against them, but it's oh, he's got to be careful. That Mangonel is lying in wait. Look at the Mangonel shot. Potentially, you can see the way it's moving around, reallocating. It looks like it does damage on about 4 units there. Don's got to be so careful. He's got all of his units. He's drag boxing the entire army here. I think he's got to start moving them independently. You can see they're sort of forcing each other to keep the distance, and that's really what you want to avoid doing. Don now with a little bit of an interesting villager run here. He's got 7 villagers out on the front. He's actually gone around the map. Look at this. Don Artie just forward castling absolutely everywhere. So he's got 2 castles up now on this top side. He is all over the map. Earlier, I mentioned that we may potentially see him expand out over the map with his villagers, and that's exactly what we're seeing him do. Beginning to drop a mill down on his opponent's side of the map here and take advantage of the berry bushes that are here. So smart moves from Don. At the same time, looking to capture the sacred sites. Now, one thing to note is he's yet to take up this 3rd sacred site towards the north, but he has taken 2 of those 3 sacred sites. And yeah, continues to look very strong in the center here. Boiling oil now going to be coming through for him as well. That's going to be affecting all of his keeps. Now, one of the things to note is this keep is particularly close to Zerton, so Zerton's going to be fully aware of this. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a trebuchet already on the way. There doesn't appear to be just yet. Yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised if that's the next unit that comes out of one of these siege workshops. We'll have a look and see. They do cost 500 wood, but you just want to start beginning to work on that. It's a great way to sort of begin making your opponent drain resources, and now we do see that trebuchet coming out. So I would almost say that's a bit of a mistake from Don. You kind of want to keep these hidden. You want to delay your enemy from seeing these as soon as possible. It's a good spot, don't get me wrong, and it keeps that stone nice and safe, but if you could have gone for here, or maybe even back here by the wood line, then that may have been able to achieve what you wanted as well, and then prevented your enemy from knowing it as well. But Zerton now going to be dropping down a keep of his own. Don Artie down towards the south, going to be going with a bit of a forward keep, so I guess you're very intentionally telling your enemy about this. And Zerton actually getting kept in. Zerton definitely getting kept in his base, I guess you could probably say. Kept in his base. I mean, it's intentionally bad grammar, guys. But battering rams now moving forward. A lot of Springlords back here. Going to be having no trouble dealing with these 2 battering rams. You can see how quickly they get taken down. How many battering rams? How many Springlords have we got here? 4 Springlords. Don Artie now going to be walking away once again, limping away with his tail between his legs. But those Springlords just doing absolute work there. Trebuchet making its way out. So not going to be looking to turn his attention towards the top here, but actually looking to turn it towards the center. Now, I suspect he does know about this. That's why we've got that Trebuchet out, unless he is looking to move up towards the north. Wooden Fortress now going to be coming down on the stone mine as well, just to try and keep that position safe. But Don now opening up with the keep. You look at his map control right now. Don is in an absolutely beautiful spot. He's having a great time. He's got his bathers on. He is enjoying the summer sun at this point in time. That is very, very certain. But now in the center of the map, it looks like that trebuchet is going to begin unfolding. Zerton doing a really smart thing here by just putting this house down. It's going to provide him line of sight on the keep. So that's all this is about. He wants to have line of sight on the keep, and he can't do that unless he sort of moves himself down to this position. If he does that, he opens himself up to a potential flank. And so what he's going to do is, by putting this house down, it enables, or it forces the keep to begin firing at the house. And then that, because he's being fired at with the keep, it gives him line of sight, so he can then return fire. So very smart moves there. And we are really beginning to see the rise of the trebuchet here, as now the 2nd trebuchet are going to be coming out for Zerton. So that's going to be slowing him down a significant amount. Think about that. That is 1,500 resources that's getting put into trebuchets. Now, don't get me wrong. That's a pretty decent use of resources, but Don going to be putting those resources elsewhere. I suspect Imperial going to be coming through very shortly for Don. Huge amount of villagers now getting pulled. Don sitting on 126 villager population. Zerton on the other side, 86. So we can see a difference of, gosh, that's a lot. What, 42 villagers between these guys? 41 villagers now between these guys. So that is very significant. A lot more than what these relics would have you believe. But have you believe? A lot more than what these relics are equivalent to. Let's go with that one. But now Don definitely getting quite heavy on the gold. We'll take a look at the upgrades he's got. No acid distillation coming through just yet. Specialized pick is obviously through for him. And now going to be clicking up to the next age. Don Artie looking to go for the military wing. So I'm sure people looked very hyped there and hoped that it was the trade wing, but it's not to be, not today. Don getting a nice little raid off over on the eastern side of the map. He did manage to break through these walls and has made his way through towards the gold mine, but keep in mind, he's only got horsemen here, so I would be very surprised if any villagers actually died. In fact, you know what? If I can see a villager on the ground here with a blue coat, I will eat my shoe again. I mean, oh, look how low that one is. I was almost a shoe eater right then. I didn't actually see any villagers die, so I'm going to keep my shoes on for now. But we'll take a look at the middle of the map. That house does go down. Don doing the right thing and actually realizing, well, hey, hold on a minute. I need to kill this house. So I think he brought his Springalds forward and just focused that down. But now Zerton going to be aging up to the next age as well. And you can see a new house going to be coming down here. So that's what this is all about. This house on the front line just going to be looking to draw that attack and keep that line of sight up. Zerton now also going to be dropping down a keep on his side of the map, but slowly and steadily you can see that Don has managed to take control very effectively of the map. And I just want to compliment Don on one thing. When you drop a keep down, okay, it's 800 resources. Your enemy, typically what they're going to be doing is looking for a trebuchet to counter them. The trebuchet costs 750 resources. If you go and drop 3 keeps down all at the same time, you've stopped your enemy from moving in 3 different locations. And you've also forced them, if they want to attack you, you're probably going to have to make at least 3 trebuchets to, you know, 1 for each of them. Obviously, you could try and go 1 by 1. It's going to be a very long day if you do that. Don coming in here, looking to try and spot out some siege. Does he have the extra 2 range? We'll have a look. It doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Yeah, very smart move there from Don. By dropping down all these keeps at the same time, it's a great way to seal the map presence. Zerton now reaching the Imperial Age. We'll check in with the upgrades that Don has got as well. Maybe that gives us some insight as to what he's looking to tech into. It is going to be the crossbows. It's going to be the knights. So that's what Don is going for. And you can see those beautiful lancers with their trusty shields. Just their little golden shields at the moment. But working towards those elite crossbows as well. Over on the other side of the map, obviously Zerton has reached the next age. He's going to be looking to get Imperial units out as well. So going to be going for elite spearmen. We'll check which landmark he went up with. I can only assume it was the armory, the high armory. But there it is. On the front line, the high armory going to be coming up for him. But Banded Arms probably going to be coming through very soon. There it is. And Roller Shutter Trigger is also going to be coming through. So this is sort of where the Rus meets their power spike, I guess is probably the best way to say it. Rus have a very strong power spike towards these 2 upgrades. But obviously people sort of working out how to counter the Rus at this stage. Or, yeah, well, I guess the Rus and more widely their composition with castles or keeps, Springalds with that extra 13.5 range. It makes it difficult to really dive in underneath those outposts. But slowly and steadily, this keep going to be going down. You can see it's being shelled by multiple trebuchets now, so 3 trebuchets in here. Don going to be losing this, but it's done a great job, and really, I think that's all Don really wanted it to do. If we take a look from his perspective, he's out here to provide line of sight, and it is to force your opponent into being able, or not being able to expand out in this direction. So a smart move, and I'm sure as soon as we see this keep go down, that, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Zerton moving out, looking to secure this area, and there you go, straight away. He looks to begin securing this area, expanding out his base. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more walls up here. Don probably going to have to look to secure this gold vein as well. When it comes to the late game, typically you're going to be looking to fight over these larger gold veins. You can see Don already out on the map. This gold vein down towards the south, already almost gone completely. Trebuchet, and this is part of the reason why you need to have that house. That house is going to make all the difference. You can see that one trebuchet walking up towards the front. You know why? Because Zerton has right-clicked this keep, and the trebuchet said, yeah, sure, sir, I'll go and shoot it. And he's walked in a direct line until he could find it, and then before that, then the keep could see it. So yeah, it all comes down to line of sight. But speaking of line of sight, Don looking to attack from multiple angles now. A little bit of a raid up towards the north here. He's got his elite lancers up here. Down towards the south, it looks like we've got the elite crossbows through. Not a lot of upgrades yet on these bad boys. Gonna be running in behind enemy lines. Zerton at the moment sitting on 101 villagers. Don gonna be looking to take those villagers out for sure. Don Artie on the other side, still sitting on 131 villagers, so a significant villager lead for him. And he's in behind these lines and now looking to create some havoc. And you can see the way he's turning around the forces of Zerton. Zerton in a bit of a difficult spot now. Going to be having to fight out, and those crossbows coming in. You can see that Zerton now looking to expand out towards this wood line. We mentioned earlier about the fact that he'd eaten quite far through his initial wood line. In the base of Zerton also, we see that his villagers are getting quite badly eaten through. And Don doing a great job of just sealing up this map slowly but steadily. Players still relatively close when it comes to their incomes at this point in time. We'll switch it over to the incomes actually, just so you can see. You know what, I take that back. Don Artie ahead by a freaking mile. 2,000 wood, 1,000 gold, 500 food. I almost just got hit in the face with a trebuchet right there. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. That was a bit crazy. But what I meant to say was that their scores were very similar. And so, yeah, you can see Don now going to be pulling out the bombard. He's got 3 bombards back here, actually. Bit of a dangerous move when you've got enemy Springalds in such a large mass here. So if you take a look, he's up to 7 Springalds. Each one of these bad boys, 13.5 range. Don, just so you're aware, mate, Bombard's not going to work in this matchup. Not going to work right now. You've got your siege superiority over here, and there's no way you're going to be able to break that. So it's probably best just to stick with trebuchets. I think Trebs in this situation are probably going to be a little bit more valuable. But we now see 3 villagers heading up towards the north. Don potentially could be looking for an outpost to be dropped down. But we'll see how he plays it. Another outpost pushing forward. And up towards the north, Mangonel going to be looking to fire up a second. Oh, that's 3 Mangonels. Oh, he's got to be careful here. Those crossbows taking huge amounts of shots. Those Mangonels going to be unloading again. I wish we could get those Sacred Site messages off our screen. It is so infuriating. If there are any devs that are watching this right now, that is my one request. Please give me an independent spectator that doesn't get those stupid fucking messages. I don't need to know when someone is under attack. I don't need to know when population capacity is reached. I do not need to know when a sacred site is being contested. Thank you. Rant over. Mangonel's now coming in. You can see the mass here from Donardi. Mangonel's got to be right on this. Donardi, got to be careful. We see those Mangonels unfolding. Look at the damage that comes down. Manages to hit just the scattered crossbows. It looks like we've got a couple Streltsy also going to be coming out now for Zerton. So he's looking to try and make that infamous Rus late game composition work. He's got the Springalds in the back. No significant mass yet. Do we have elite spears? We do indeed have elite spears coming out here. So Streltsy going to be trying their best to hold on. I'm going to double check and see with Zerton whether he's got that range upgrade. I don't see chemistry. There's chemistry. So it doesn't have chemistry researched at this point. For anybody wondering, chemistry, in addition to including, or in addition to buffing up Bombards and the damage that they do, it also buffs up the Streltsy. So it takes them from 35 up to 42 attack. So really important to grab that upgrade. So you can see they're now sitting at their base attack. But yeah, quite a bit of siege now coming out for Zerton. He's up to 4 Mangonels up towards the north, looking to secure up this position. He realizes how important these wood lines are, and now it's going to be dropping down a keep in a pretty decent spot here and looking to continue wall. So trying to play as methodically as possible. Push out, wall, secure the area, then push the next area, secure that, wall that. So that's exactly what we're seeing him do. We did initially see a wall coming across like this. He realized it wasn't viable. He's deleted the wall. He said, you know what, we're not going to bother. We're just going to expand straight up into this area. But it's a beautiful little spot he's got up here. Nice little pocket. You can see Don now looking to actually fortify his outposts as well, just so they stay alive for a bit longer. So Don being extra cheeky. I wouldn't be surprised. We've got a Sacred Site victory coming in right now. 3 minutes until Sacred Site victory. You heard the gongs. The dongs dinged their last dong. Oh, gosh. So, yes, those notifications definitely worth it. But the only reason those notifications are worth it is because this is absolutely freaking useless. You know, oh, wonderful. 3 out of 3 Sacred Sites captured. Thank you. So the gong's now going to be coming up. Sacred Site victory is on the way. I'm going to assume about 35 minutes is where we're looking at. Don Artie going to be trying to hold on here for dear life. We'll check in and see how he's doing. He's actually falling behind when it comes to his population, sitting on 171. You'd expect a guy like him with an economy that size would be able to have a little bit more towards that 200. But now the siege superiority coming out for Zerton. He's looking pretty strong. But we'll be listening out for those gongs. I suspect we're going to be having some fights here over the sacred sites. But a bit of a push coming out. Don potentially needing to defend this central sacred site. Let's do a bit of a check on these other ones. So this one here looks quite open, but I don't think there's any real way we're going to get a challenge down towards this position. There's no arrow slits or anything on that. At the same time, on the front line, we'll be watching the battle unfold as the Streltsy try their best to defend. A couple elite spears out as well. Mangonel shots coming out. You hear that? That's the 2-minute mark right now. So not long before this sacred site or this sacred victory happens, Zerton going to need to really get a push out here. He's got this beautiful Mangonel mass, and you can see the way they just fire off right now, landing those beautiful shots on all of the Camel Archers, but Camel Archers demonstrating its prowess in the late game. Streltsy getting out here as well. Zerton sitting on 150 population at the moment. Wouldn't be surprised if we do see a couple more Mangonels coming out with all the resources that he's got in the bank. And Zerton looking to try and drop a keep right on top of that sacred site. Now we're just going to do a quick check up towards the north side and see what the potential is to take this site. Don doesn't really have any oversight up here, so one of the things players will often do is they'll look to fight over one site and forget that there exists other sites that they could potentially be fighting over. Don now going to be trying to deny this keep from coming up. We're going to enter into the cinematic mode. We'll be listening out for those gongs because I can feel it coming, baby. Springwood's firing off on these camel archers on the back, but it looks like these villagers still going to be able to bring it up. You can see slowly and steadily they are underneath. They're tapping away. But keep an ear out for those gongs, and I think now Zertan going to be able to move onto the sacred site. You can see him beginning to deny it. So going to be looking to take this, but by the same token, Don bringing out villagers towards the sacred site. Streltsy trying their best to mow them down. A couple of camel archers in here as well. Now, keep in mind, when this sacred site is being stood on like this, Zertan is denying the reduction in that countdown. So, you know, wherever you were thinking about that before, or if, like, you got your timer out, you're going to need to keep it paused whenever Zertan is standing on there. You're not going to hear any gongs when Zertan is standing on this sacred site, and now looking to do a pretty decent job of holding the sacred site. You can see Don trying his best to get up a second keep here on the front line, but now it looks like we've got a Culverin coming out as well. Yeah, Culverin now going to be coming out as well for Don, firing off towards the back. Sacred site still being contested, but a lot of these units going to be going down. Not a big mass coming through from Zertan. A lot of siege coming through, though, but ideally he needs to start pulling villagers at this point because, you know, realistically, there's the gong. That's 1 minute to go now. You did see that he was off that for a little bit. So we are down with our timer. We're down to 60 seconds. I'd probably call that maybe 58 seconds. There's a bit of a delay between standing on it and the clock stopping. But you can see that they're still just fighting over at the outposts or towers, doing a tremendous job here and holding on. But now Don Artie will take a look and see up towards the north whether he's experiencing any potential issues up here. Not going to be the case. Down towards the south, not going to be the case. And a huge mass now coming out for Don Artie. Look at the elite horseman. Zertan trying his best to try and deny this. You can see the units coming out, but he just doesn't have enough infantry, not enough food production. Don Artie, 78 villagers on food. Compared that to his opponent, who's sitting on only 24 villagers. And Don just doing an impressive job here with the keeps sitting here firing. He's got villagers inside these these keeps in the event that he needs to evacuate them, get them out onto the sacred site. Doing a great job here, managing to hold on. He's looking to fight the distance right now as these sacred sites really become so imperative when it comes to these late game. Don Artie looking to push through. We see a couple spears on the point, going to be preventing that from going any further, but the clock keeps ticking. We don't know how long it ticks. We don't get to see the timer. Villagers now going to be coming out as well. This is a smart move coming out from Zertan. First keep going to be going down here as well. Villagers from Don Artie going to be pulled out at this point, and now Bombard's beginning to fire back off on the keep. If he's able to take out this second keep, he's going to be in a wonderful position because it's going to mean that all of these shots coming down and more units now beginning to trickle out. Don should be able to, or I was going to say Zertan should be able to keep himself on this sacred site. You can see him doing a pretty decent job here, bringing up a trebuchet and just going to be putting the trebuchet on the sacred site, and it looks like his units have all died. Don Artie winning the game right there. 0 seconds to go, and he just is victorious at the end. Fellas, I hope you've enjoyed this casted game. N4C shaping up to be an insane tournament. Make sure you check it out. I'll leave links in the description to both of these guys. Thank you for watching.